Come on, good people. It's Mr. Meyer with the fire. There's a draft. What's up with my flame? Here to take the collective vibe higher. Mars, they were Mark 94. This is the astrology for the week of March 25th to April 1st. It's a great week. A lot of cool action is going down. There's actually a lot to talk about. So, this is the second time I've recorded the video. First time I was going to, take the time to up the production value and make the cuts and the edits and stuff. And then honestly, it felt like I was editing with a Nokia phone, like way back in the day. This computer that I'm using is basically cooked. It's a good computer, but old Yeller needs to take a trip with me behind the shed. So next week, I do expect to have better production value and keeping up with the times. But anyway, that's besides the point. I'm excited for the week. I'm excited to see your beautiful face. I hope you guys enjoy this video today. So, without further ado, I'm going to share the charts with you. I'm going to walk you through the degrees starting today and then to not just tomorrow, but the next week in advance. There is a lot of action. So let me just break it down. First of all, we have Aries season in full effect, a solar eclipse in the sign of Aries, Mercury retrograde, and Venus retrograde are both going to move back into the sign of Pisces. We've got Neptune moving into the sign of Aries, which is only going to happen one time in your life. And then we've got Lilith going into Scorpio, all within 1 week. So sit back, relax, or maybe buckle up and grab the oh shit handle because this shit is crazy, man. Let me show you the chart and then we'll get started. So, if you guys enjoy this video at any point, please do leave a like. If you're new here, subscribe. I want to thank everybody for all the new faces I'm seeing, all the engagement, all the love that you guys have been sharing on the videos. It means the world to me. So, anyway, we got the sun at 5 degrees of Aries today. Feast your eyes. Pretend it's not Thanksgiving. Behold a beautiful chart. Ignore the houses, just pay attention to the clock face and the angles. But anyway, sun's at 5 Aries. Shout out my Aries people. It's your time to shine. We're feeling your energy right now. The moon's being a drama queen this week, okay? We're starting at 18 Aquarius, waning in. We'll have our new moon solar eclipse on Friday night, Saturday morning. And there's going to be a whole new video about that posted tomorrow. Me and my team are going to break it down sign by sign. So you guys are going to definitely make sure you're subscribed. I'll come back and update the description and put the link in there tomorrow. So if it's not there when you're watching this video, it will be tomorrow, okay? Anyway, so the moon is going to be waning, it's going to be new, and then it's going to be waxing all in 1 week. Like, damn, bitch, can you make up your mind? Holy shit. So we've got, and that's exciting, actually, the new moon, new beginning. Let's get to it. We'll talk about that in a second. You've got Mercury retrograde at 3 degrees of Aries, Venus at 0 Aries, also retrograde. So they're about to skedaddle, you feel me? You've got Mars at 21 Cancer. You've got Jupiter at 15 Gemini. You've got Saturn at 23 Pisces. Uranus at 24 Taurus. Ooh, buddy. Neptune at 29 degrees in 49 minutes of Pisces. You guys know what that means because I just told you. Anyway, Pluto's at 3 Aquarius, and then the north node of the moon is at 27 Pisces, which of course is going to put the south node at 27 Virgo. And here's the crazy thing, guys. Black Moon Lilith, her freaky ass is at 29 Libra in 53 minutes. So I think I've foreshadowed enough, but let's jump into the future, April 1st. So I don't know, this may or may not be true. I might be playing a prank on you, but either way, you've got the sun at 12 Aries. How cool is that? We've got the moon in Gemini waxing. So you see, we just passed the new moon this week. We've got Mercury at 28 Pisces, Venus at 27. So they both slide back into Pisces. You've got Mars moving to about 23 in 56 minutes. Jupiter's going up 1 degree. Uranus is basically sitting still. It's moving very slow. But Neptune, oh my God, guys, is switching into Aries this week. And Pluto is still just creeping along in Aquarius. But here's the crazy thing, guys. Black Moon Lilith, her freaky ass is now in the sign of Scorpio. So I'm going to look you in the eyes while I say this. Holy shit, that's amazing. What does this mean? How can I use this? Oh man, I'm so glad you asked. I thought you would never ask. So let's break it down step by step. Aries season. This is a new beginning. Take the spark of life and fan that flame until you have a raging fire in your heart that nothing can stop, okay? Everybody's going to be affected differently by the sign of Aries, or the season, I should say. So if you hit the video in the description down below, you'll see the update I posted for all 12 signs. It's a very fast and short video, but either way it goes, just live your life to the fullest, guys. This is the season of trying new things, reinventing yourself, and living with your passions, okay? So let's get on that. Interesting times we're in right now because the moon, eclipse season. We just had our full moon in Virgo, which is a deep release within the body, and it's about simplifying our lives. So that last lunation we had, the full moon in Virgo, is really interesting because it's in the season of Pisces. So for practical purposes, my friends, the year has just started. I know we're in the middle of March or at the end of March, beginning of April, and as far as Pope Gregory is concerned, it's like, oh, we're like a quarter of the way through the year. As far as I'm concerned, from a totally astrological perspective, this is the beginning of the year on the spring equinox. But then also, the first new moon of the year is like really the beginning of the year. So, what are we going to do with that? We're going to set intentions, not just for the day, for the month, maybe for the year ahead, 5 years, 10 years down the line, lifestyle by design. What do you want? Write it down like a Christmas list and then get the fuck after it. Okay. But eclipses, I will say, are kind of volatile. So we are going to talk about this more extensively in tomorrow's video, what's going on with the solar eclipse. But this may be the time to really just lean on that past Virgo energy and make sure that you have the rhythm and the schedule and the routine and the structure that's going to set you up for long-term growth. You know, they say a journey of 1,000,000 miles takes a single step to begin. So that's the type of timing that we're on, is that we're going to set intentions. We're going to plant seeds this week. And just remember, you can't reap the fruit in the same season you plant the seed. So plant that seed lovingly, wait patiently. And for the love of God, reap that shit without complaining, man, because nobody likes to hear you bitch about things that you create. So anyway, you've also got Mercury retrograde this week, plus Venus retrograde. So these are interesting, and they're two different animals that we'll talk about. But Mercury retrograde is really about slowing the fuck down. You guys already know Mercury has everything to do with the mind and technology and communication. So, like I said at the very beginning, man, like old Yeller is about to kick the bucket, man. I'm gonna upgrade my computer from like an i5 to at least the i7 because I want to make better content for you guys. And it's like when I'm doing this, man, I'm seeing like the lag, and I don't want to nerd out and tell you guys that I've cleared my cache and like uninstalled. I'm already doing it. What the fuck? I'm just like, I want to punch this computer through the fucking face, man. Aries season got me bent, bro. I'm like, ugh. Okay, anyway, but you got to slow down. You got to use these as opportunities to, make life better. It's about time to upgrade. Practical advice for Mercury retrograde: clean your damn room, organize your files. You may want to delete pictures or numbers or clean the car. Anything in life has energy. So the energy of clutter and chaos and disorganization will also affect you if you let it into your environment, okay? This also gives us the opportunity to improve our communication. So that's really cool. I love that. And misunderstandings are opportunities to create compromise and higher understanding. So just something to think about. But what's really cool, let's talk about like Aries Pisces, because we have Mercury and Venus starting in Aries this week and macking into Pisces. So, I think this is good for the month because Aries is hot-headed and passionate and very selfish. And that's not bad in and of itself, but this could be the temperance we need to maybe see things from a different perspective and really make it not just about ourselves. So that's something to think about. You got Aries like the extreme personal, and then Pisces like the extreme universal. So we're going to be looking at how these two correlate within our lives, for better or for worse, because, you need both dimensions to live this life. Anyway, same applies for Venus. She's starting in Aries and she's moving back into Pisces this week. So everything that we're doing with revision, it applies to Mercury and Venus. So this is about getting your money right. You might be doing some accounting, some organizing. Relationships can also be a really big Venus thing. So I would just say make everything make sense and make sure you communicate. Make sure that you are clear with your intentions and your objectives and ask for what you want. It's very key. in any relationship because even your soulmate can't read your mind 100% of the time. I'm telling you. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna run through the rest of these planets and then we'll jump into the ingresses, okay? And save the best for last. So basically, we've got Mars in Cancer, and this is really interesting because Mars has spent a long time in Cancer because it went retrograde last year. So while it's kind of been dragging itself through Cancer, it's gonna fly by in these next couple weeks, okay? So we probably only got about a month, give or take, left of Mars Cancer. And this is highly empowering, but it can also be highly fucking frustrating because this is the planet of action and desire and intention, and it's in the sign of feelings and emotions and home. So, at best, this looks like emotional fulfillment, true connection, great timing. But at worst, this is displaced emotions and conflict with your loved ones and just feeling fucking frustrated, irritated, or kind of like having a splinter in your heart. So, hey, what's the solution? Well, really, there's no problem, so there doesn't need to be a solution. But hey, man, the best thing I could say from this sphere is feel your feelings. It's an inner journey. The call comes from inside the house. What makes you happy? Okay? Something to think about. Success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. Don't do that. Jupiter in Gemini. Jupiter's been in Gemini for a hot minute. He or she is like right at the midpoint, like 15 to 16 this week. So this is the planet of growth and the sign of the mind. This is about learning. How cool is that? Not all knowledge is good knowledge, my friends. So you have to be selectively blind to the bullshit. In other words, don't get distracted. All right. Not all knowledge is good knowledge. Knowledge is no ledge, and you could fall forever in a bunch of brain rot. So let's not do that either. There's a time and place for everything. There's a time to be entertained. There's a time to be educated. So lock in with your personal and selective goals. We've also got a lot of Pisces energy. We've got Saturn, the North Node, Venus and Mercury, and for a little bit, Neptune this week in the sign of Pisces. Like, good fucking God, can we save some Pisces for the rest of us, man? That's so much. So as far as Saturn's concerned, this has everything to do with mastering our emotions and mastering empathy and putting the right boundaries in place within our lives. Okay. I could make it a long, drawn out, philosophical and spiritual discussion, but it's Aries season. I don't really fucking want to do that. I would just say believe in yourself, build your dreams, and, be willing to take a leap of faith. All right. When I look at this South Node in Virgo, it really does feel like the familiar, the comfortable, the routine in the universe asking us to go jump into something new and see how much we actually trust not just the universe itself, but our higher reasoning and our higher potential. So that's really beautiful. Uranus and Taurus is a freaky ass world. I hope you guys find some calm inside of yourself. Now we got to talk about Neptune. Here's where the action happens this week, guys. Neptune is an outer planet and it has an almost perfectly circular orbit. It takes about 160 years to go around the whole sun. So that's crazy. And each sign is going to get about 13 to 14 years in the transit. So I'm telling you guys, while this is a weekly astrology podcast, this is characterizing a shift that's going to follow us for over a decade. So that's crazy. The last 13 to 14 years, Neptune has been in the sign of Pisces. And because that's such a long time, we can kind of start to assume that's just the way that life is. And it's really not. It's a chapter of our lives. Neptune is the planet of dreams and the culture, and Pisces is again the universal sign. And it's really empathic and psychic and attuned. So, this has everything to do with the trend of spirituality in the new age in our day-to-day lives and people waking up to their powers of manifestation. I would say it also has a lot to do with inflation and pollution, people being kind of fucking confused. And Neptune and Pisces notoriously have a lot to do with deception. So I don't like to get political, especially in my podcast, but if you just look at the world, and look at the news and then just check in with yourself intuitively, you should see what the fuck I'm saying. So anyway, time will tell what Neptune and Aries is going to bring because this is 13 years in the future. But as far as the language of astrology, these archetypes, this could be war. You've got Aries, Mars, the fighter, the warrior. And I think the world could do without war, but sometimes war can be a good thing. And that hurts my heart to say that because I'm a Libra moon. But last time Neptune went into Aries in the 1800s, this was the start of the Civil War, like almost within the week of the ingress. So I'm not suggesting that civil war is going to break out right now, but I'm just saying that, that war was over slavery. That war was over human rights. So while conversation and communication can solve almost any problem that violence could, there's a chance we might see wars break out, hopefully for good reasons. Or God and Goddess willing, we don't see any fucking wars over the next 14 years and we just see a world of peace. But as far as other themes, because I'm not going to sit here and like, mentally masturbate all over y'all and try to come up with potentialities because I'd really like to know what you guys think about Neptune and Aries. A couple other thoughts, because I just want to give you maybe three, is that maybe, so I know that social justice will be a big deal. It was in Neptune and Pisces, but you'll see that Aries fire kind of exacerbate and amplify that. And then third, I think individual rights are going to be, more important because Aries is the self. Because I want to say something about Neptune Pisces, man. While this was really beautiful and you can see the world moving in a crazy direction, and it seems like over the linear, time curve, we're always getting better. But one thing I don't like about Neptune Pisces, talking about the culture, is how inclusive we are. We start to become kind of stupid. And I'm all kumbaya. I'm all here for all is one and one is all, because I do live in non-dual reality a lot of the time. But I just find that the culture encourages weakness too fucking much. And we're so interested in being politically correct and pandering to weaknesses that we avoid being fucking honest. And I don't like that shit whatsoever, man. And I would like to see the world being more fucking real during Neptune and Aries, frankly. All right. But as far as other planets go, I'm going to wrap this up, keep this short and sweet and simple because I don't want to really talk your off or my own because the day is not done. But Pluto is in Aquarius. This is power to the people over the next 20 years. And watch Uranus in its transit because Uranus rules over Aquarius, and that's going to really say everything to do with how this shift works. Astrology is like reading the universe's clock, and I'm just trying to tell you guys that Pluto's gear in the clock is connected to Uranus for about 20 years. So this is going to be a major collective shift and a mass awakening. And the internet is going to be really fundamental in human survival, autonomy, and globalization. So that's cool. I'm excited. Okay, lastly, Lilith just went into Scorpio, or she's going to go into Scorpio around Thursday. Okay. So that's really cool. And what does this mean? What the fuck is Lilith? First of all, because not everybody talks about this or knows about this when it comes to astrology. So what you really got to understand is that Lilith is the lunar apogee. What I basically mean is that the moon, it doesn't really have a perfectly circular orbit. It's elliptical. So sometimes the moon is going to be further away, sometimes she's going to be closer to the earth. And when she's the furthest distance possible, she's in what's called the apogee. That's what Black Moon Lilith really is. So we know the moon rules over the time and the timing and our cycles, right? And this is also our inner world and how we connect. It's our emotions, our feelings. So the Black Moon Lilith shows a deep, raw, sometimes hidden need that we're really going to need to confront. All right. At best, this is going to be very nurturing, integrative, strengthening, but at worst, as an unconscious force, this could be very chaotic and disruptive and destructive. Okay. So let's talk about Scorpio for just a sec. This is the eighth sign. This is all about power and secrets and sex and mysteries and magic. All right. It's also interesting to note that the lunar apogee, Black Moon Lilith, she will switch signs every 9 months. And with the moon being the feminine, the mother, the maternal archetype, and babies taking about 9 months to develop, I think there's something very interesting going on here in the universe. Just pay attention to that. So, anyway, 9 months from now, Lilith will move into the sign of Sagittarius and we'll have a whole different conversation. But for now, it looks like sexy times are coming. It looks like magic is going to be more enticing than it usually was. How is that even possible? It looks like power is going to be a primal raw need for people to confront. I personally believe, take this with salt, I believe power acquisition is the human birthright. If you just look at what life is, it is what it is. And I think people are going to recognize that and wake up to it. And you can't have power without love, and you can't have love without power. Something crazy to think about. Love slash mercy without power is weakness, but power without love and mercy is cruelty. So you need both. Very important that we live a balanced life. I could even go deeper and tell you guys that strong people do great things with their power, but weak people will do cruel things with their power. So which one are you is really the question. If you saw the chart, you'll be able to see this, or you could just do the math and know that while Lilith moves into Scorpio, she's actually going to make a square with Pluto and Aquarius because they're both in fixed signs. So, that being said, this next month has a lot to do with confronting hidden emotions. This has a lot to do with healing the mother wound. And if you are a mother in some way, shape, or form, I would just encourage you to take full control and responsibility for your emotions and find a way to assert yourself in this world in a powerful and loving way so your children don't bear the brunt of your aggression. Just something to think about, man. Anyway, you either get to feel your feelings and deal with your shit, or you can suppress it, deny it, and anything suppressed will get distorted, and that can't be good for the world. All right. Scorpio has everything to do with regeneration and change. And I really look at this 9 months of Lilith in Scorpio as purging, healing the traumas. And also, it's probably about having a lot of sex and getting powerful. Powerful people should have powerful bodies and they shouldn't be broke, among other things. And they shouldn't be stupid and they shouldn't be addicted. Just something to think about. I mean, and here's another thing to think about. It's like, power is not really good or bad. It's just neutral. How we use it for what reasons determines how we judge it. And if we don't have a channel for the power, sometimes we don't fucking need it. Like, think about electricity. Is electricity good or bad? If it's running in your house and giving you light and giving you the internet, it's like, cool, right on. I love that shit. Is it powering a dam? Okay, hell yeah. If it's shocking you to shit, electrocuting you is like maybe not so good. So my point I'm trying to make right now, guys, is that sometimes if we don't have a channel for our power and our energy, it can actually default on self-destruction. So destruction is a part of creation. So what things do we need to destroy in order to be more powerful, fulfilled, and happy? All right. I love y'all. Practice preventative maintenance. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready and just work on building a better self. And I mentioned this earlier in a video, and I'm going to speak on this before I leave you guys and let you enjoy the rest of your day. But self-love, speaking of Aries, Venus, and all of our Mars energy, self-love is not necessarily a binary, it's a continuum. It's not about if you love yourself, it's how, where, and to what extent. How much do you love yourself? So, that's something to think about as far as how can you show up for yourself and how can you assert your power in this world, whether it is through your daily habits or your health or your passions or your interests or your creative endeavors. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like. If you're not subscribed, please hit that button. Let me know, guys, what do you think Neptune and Aries is going to bring, and what do you see coming from Lilith and Scorpio? I would love to know. These are just ideas. So do with this information what you will. Two heads are better than one, so let's put them together and see what we can build together, guys. Mr. Meyer with the fire, here to take the collective vibe higher. Fire family, our sole intention is to reconcile all paradox with love and truth, and I love you. You. Take it easy.